What is something a high school teacher told you, that you will never forget? Whenever my teacher said anything controversial that he didn't want repeated, he would preface it with, "Don't quote me on this because I'll just deny it." I still use that. Pay attention to what you pay attention to. 2005 A teacher said intelligence of the future will not be defined by how well you know one skill but instead how well you can find information and decipher what information is good and bad. That our town was a shithole and the best advice he could give us was to move out and live elsewhere. Decades later, he was correct. If you're ever living in poverty, a block of cheese and a loaf of bread can feed you for days. Our high school chemistry teacher said, "Remember, a warm test tube or Bunsen burner are no substitutes for a satisfying relationship." My freshman year history teacher told us first day of school about how he went to college with Bill Gates. Said he was one of the people that Bill asked to invest in his startup. He had declined. And here I am, teaching history class to high schoolers. My music teacher used to tell me that before you could break the rules, you had to understand them. My high school baseball coach, sociology teacher always used to say, "Those who are prepared create their own luck, before exams." This is a true life lesson. Leave your verbal guns at the door. This was the HS football coach's first words teaching sex ed at my high school. He used the metaphor of the old American West where cowboys would leave their guns at the door when they entered a saloon to drink so nobody would get killed in a drunken outburst. He said we'd talk about a lot of topics that might make us feel uncomfortable and tempted to make a joke at someone else's expense to break the tension. He asked us to leave our verbal guns at the door so everyone could feel comfortable asking honest questions. This was back in the late 80s. He was way ahead of his time. Not as inspiring as the others, but I always found it funny how my teacher would say, 90 degrees, instead of, sit up straight. That I wasn't stupid, just lazy. Changed my life. My music teacher when I spent a large length of time skipping school due to various reasons. She had phoned me after spending hours tracking a way to contact me because she was worried. "I'm not phoning to tell you off, I'm phoning to make sure you're okay. You don't have to go to the classes you don't like. Your exam is on WED and I am phoning to let you know, no matter what I know that you'd still be practicing because you're a bright student and I know you'll go far no matter what you choose to do." I faked my way through 4th and 5th grade math. I never understood how to do long division, but managed to hide that from the teachers and answer test questions by reverse multiplication, basically guess a number and multiply it out and see how close I would get, and keep doing it until I got the answer. My 6th grade math teacher figured out that I was faking, and had no idea how to actually divide anything. She had me come in one afternoon to help with cleaning the erasers. All the kids fought for this privilege, so I was thrilled, sat me down and tutored me until I grasped the concept. Bless you, Mrs. Gillespie. A teacher of mine said he would write me a letter of recommendation, but it had been a week or so and he hadn't gotten back to me yet. I went in a third time to remind him and I started off with an apology, to which he corrected me, saying, "Don't ever stop advocating for yourself, it's advice I haven't forgotten since." I was having a particularly bad year in high school emotionally and my grades were starting to reflect it, so my dad went in for parent-teacher conference day. When he got to my orchestra director, he bluntly told my dad that I was brilliant. When my dad just kind of shrugged it off, like okay yeah he's a smart kid I guess, the director looked him in the eye and said, "No, you don't understand," and proceeded to lecture to him about me. I heard this secondhand from my dad and then talked to my director about it afterwards. His words and his faith in me have stuck with me all my life. I'm now finishing up a PhD in mathematical physics. My chemistry teacher told my mom that I would do so much better if I asked questions. I've found that this is true in all stages of life. Ask questions. The true sign of the economy in a slump is when people stop buying big screen TVs. My economics teacher, 2003. Young man. I said no talking. If you have something to say, meet me out in the hallway and we'll discuss it like men. Another freshman history teacher filling in for my regular teacher after a new kid who had only been enrolled for 2 days, whispered, "Who is that?" to my neighbor. My English teacher in grade 6 put a and lot on 2 separate pieces of paper and taped them to opposite walls on the classroom. Then she got a student to run from a to lot while yelling with them, gets to other side, LOOOOOOOTTTT, to teach us that they were separate and that a lot is incorrect. I have never forgotten and can still picture it as if it were yesterday. Tears of joy. It's been 12 years. What's the most disrespectful thing a guest ever did in your home? Had some friends in middle school come over and smash up all the Lego sets in my room, then wondered why I didn't want them to come over again. My friend's wife came out of our master bathroom and let us know she borrowed some pain meds she found in the medicine cabinet. She then slept on the couch for most of the visit. She stole my winter hoodies and antidepressants. My son's friend, middle school, opened all the yogurts in my refrigerator. Didn't eat then, just opened all the tinfoil lids. Had sex with her boyfriend on my white comforter while on her period. It's so hard to choose, so I have to give 3 answers. 1. Smoked opium in my house after I told him he couldn't smoke opium in my house. 2. Got in a fistfight in my living room and smashed up some shit in the process, accidentally punched me in the fracas. 3. Gave someone a haircut while I was passed out and left the hair all over the floor. The first 2 was the same friend, and the last one was actually his younger brother who received the haircut. Blew his nose on a tissue and then just threw it on the floor. Worst thing is, he expected me to pick it up for him. My 10-year-old daughter's ex-friend thought it'd be funny to stomp a chipmunk to death. Messed up my girl big time. She never came back. A friend asked to stay with me for a few days because she was having relationship problems. Turns out the relationship problems were all down to the fact she had a massive coke habit and her boyfriend was fed up of her spending all their money on it. The first night she invited 5 people who I didn't know round after I'd gone to bed and I had work the next day. Then she just disappeared for 3 days and went on a bender. I had her boyfriend calling me worried sick and nobody knew where she was. When she finally turned up, she called me a shitty friend for not covering for her. She didn't even ask me to. Yeah, we're not friends anymore. Neighbor's kid came in with dirt all over his feet and then wiped them on the carpet. Never did get the stain out. I let my drunk friend sleep on my couch. He peed in his sleep and nicely folded a blanket over the couch cushion. I didn't know until after he left and then blamed my cat. Face with rolling eyes. Dude came over, apparently shit his pants and threw his heavily skid-marked underwear in with my dirty laundry pile. I found my dog chewing on his underwear the next morning. Go through my closet and get mad at me for having sex toys because it was inappropriate. WTF. Cut their toenails in my living room. They were just visiting for a few hours. Stole an expensive pair of shoes. We had my in-laws' wedding in our backyard. A few hours into festivities, I found, "Need more toilet paper," written on the bathroom wall with human feces. I was the guest. Kinda. When I worked as a cable guy, the first had a very sudden and extremely painful stomach cramp, like my face was beat red and I sweating bullets. I asked the owner of the house if I could use the bathroom. By this time I know what is coming and I start to undress because I was overheating and felt like I was going to pass out. I blew the toilet up and did in fact pass out from the pain for like a split second. Do not know what caused the pain to be so bad. The smell was like something died. The bathroom had no air freshener. It was extremely bad. Boss showed up because I was in the bathroom for like 45 minutes. To whoever was the owner, sorry. The part in Dumb and Dumber reminds me of that day. Edit typos. Lived on the parade route in New Orleans. A friend got wasted. Picked up a drunk girl who literally fell in dog shit because she wore heels to a damn parade, and proceeded to have loud sex with her on my couch and got poo all over it. Oh yeah, he also brought his girlfriend with him. She stayed in my and my wife's bedroom and cried while he cheated on her in the next room. He's a federal judge now. Every single time I invite my mother to come to a birthday party for one of my kids or if I'm having a barbecue. Hell, any kind of get-together she is invited to, she fills her car with a bunch of people I have no idea who they are and they invade the place like they are at war. They eat all the food and just destroy the place with their crazy antics. What the fuck, some people have such a sense of entitlement that I just will never understand. So it was myself and 3 friends. One of them was homeless, named Freddie. Because I've also been homeless, and had recently gotten out of it, I invited them back to my place because I had bought some stuff for Freddie. Shoes and socks and supplies and stuff. While him and I were getting his things, my other 2 mates went through my stuff and took 3-5 expensive items. They were angry that I didn't buy stuff for them.